So this is just a nice easy way of how anybody can start a brand new blog and pumping traffic to it pretty much within 10 minutes of finishing the end of this video. Now the whole basis of this little technique relies totally on the Google Trends facility that Google has given us. Now some of you will know this technique, so you may want to watch to the end because there's some cool little tips and tricks that I found using it, so it's worth sticking around. But for those of you that don't know what Google Trends is it basically shows you all the top searches happening at any one time on the internet. So if we can somehow tap into this traffic, and by using these keywords, you can start getting pretty much instant traffic very quickly from a variety of sources. So when you actually go into Google Trends, you can basically have a look at the current top 100. So that's pretty cool. And what we're going to do, we're going to get straight into this now. I'm not going to waffle on. What we're going to do is, what we want to look for rather, is a long tail phrase that has low competing pages in the search engines. So we can quickly get some content out there with these keywords in, get it indexed real quick, and start sucking in that traffic. Now just looking at these ones now, I'm instantly dismiss of anything with one or two words. The longer the better, and find something that you think that you could possibly monetize or somehow tie in with some of your niches. Anything, there's no point doing this for total random stuff which you can't monetize or get people to sign up for. I mean, there's just no point doing it. And also, you don't want to just pick a long tail phrase that you can't be bothered to write about. I mean, the next stage is just writing a bit of good quality content about the search that gives the searcher some information of what they're actually after. So what we want to do is just choose about 5 or 10 long tail phrases which we can go off and research in a minute and find one with low competing pages or very little. So you want to copy and paste the code or the phrase, head over to Google and put it into quotes, just do a search. And this is very important to get right. You want to be looking for stuff with no more than 20 or 50 competing pages. And a lot of you will be thinking, oh, that's going to be impossible. But honestly, if you do about 10 or 20 phrases, I pretty much guarantee you will find a phrase that will just blow you away when you realize that a lot of these phrases just do not have any competition yet. It's completely new stuff. So once you've found your phrase, you want to head over to WordPress, host it on the WordPress domain. That's a very important thing to get right. And set up a new account and start a new blog and blog about it. Now find as much good quality, relevant information that you can. Otherwise, I'm not saying go and fill the internet up with crap. Please don't do that. There's enough crap out there already. It's providing good quality content. Now the whole thing is that when you actually do your blog and you register the domain name, you want to tag it. The secret of this really is in the tag. And what I've realized is that if there's very low competing pages for a popular term and you tag it correctly, the WordPress.com/tag page hits the SERPs pretty early on, gets indexed real quick, and you can get a lot of traffic. Now I did this, I had a complete fresh blog and it generated like 9,000 hits, which isn't heaps of traffic. I know it's just certainly a start, right? Some people struggle to get 1,000 hits in the first week, which is more than understandable. Don't worry if that you're not even getting that. That's nothing to worry about. But this is just a sick way where you can use some of the way the internet works. You can use this to your advantage, and the key is just by blogging about it, tagging it correctly, and getting your site pretty much up on the tag page as soon as you can. Now, if you do that, and then in your content, send them to a link to either a sign-up page or another page where you can monetize them, because obviously, you don't want to, you can't put affiliate products on WordPress, or you want to, get all the people coming to your own site so you can really go to town with them, if it's AdSense or if it's, whatever way you've got to monetize them. And you can do it, everything's legitimate. It's completely fine as long as it's good quality content and you tag it correctly, you can't go wrong. So what we were looking at or thinking about when we've been doing this is we actually thinking, well, wouldn't it be cool just to get that little extra boost, that head start, there's a few more pages in the search engines for a phrase. So if you stare and study long enough the trends that appear, you'll start seeing patterns. So we looked into some of these patterns and found out what's kind of triggering them off, and seeing if there's any way that we can think of just simple ways to predict what is going to be hitting the trends. And it's all fairly new stuff, so this is completely free. We certainly did find simple ways that we could actually tell what was going to be coming up on the trends. Now, one of the ways of doing this is obviously just by Googling tomorrow's date in quotes. So obviously if it's the 10th of the 10th, do 10th of the 11th, or 11th of the 10th rather. See what is coming up, see what people are already talking about, and then find what kind of patterns there are, any sort of like major events, and then, put a bit of a blog post up on that. It's certainly for 5 or 10 minutes work, the rewards could just be, phenomenal. So another way is looking at, instead of tomorrow's date, looking at tomorrow's date, last year. So tomorrow's October the 8th. So October the 7th rather. So what happened on October the 7th last year? And is there any repeating patterns? Like, is there any big events that occur on an annual basis? Certainly you might see a few either side of the actual date, but you can really start seeing what people were searching for at the same time last year. And if you start spotting patterns on a day-to-day basis, then obviously you've got your own blueprint, if you like. You can just start working back in time forward day by day to see what's going to be coming up tomorrow in the current time, if you get me. So it's very simple, but I just haven't seen it anywhere. I haven't read about it anywhere. It's just such a simple thing that is just worth giving a pop. Now, another great way is what you want to do is start building a decent, your own database of all the actual keywords that are actually hitting the trends. So what I've done was a long time ago, I just clicked add to Google Reader. So from that, I get all the information in a nice RSS feed. I can do RSS PDF, and then I can export them and I can properly analyze them. So I've always got something on my desk to refer to, what could potentially be things that are going to happen, and if they are happening, what keywords did people use last year, phrases that people are sort of like repetitively typing in, which unless you sort of see, you may never actually figure out. And if you do start tapping into them, you get to start getting lots of more traffic from it, basically. And another great final way is I noticed that, and this is really cool, whatever's going on in Woot that day, that phrase often hits Google Trends. It's a product, so if you can find a deal very similar to Woot, or if Woot runs out of stock, you could be quids in just from that, just from finding a decent way of monetizing people interested in that physical product. You could really clean house. So if you like what you've seen and you're interested in more Google Trends, sort of like tips and other ways, sign up here. You'll see a little icon now. Sign up here and we'll send you heaps more cool stuff as and when we find it, completely free. You're not committing yourself to any money or anything like that, just good quality stuff. See you on the other side.